Thank you. Every Sunday after they sung, I go home and the song reverberates in my mind the whole week. So every Sunday there's a new song coming, so thank you. It's beautiful. Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my God and my rock. Amen. The little Annie in the musical Annie sings the following song. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet you that tomorrow there'll be a sun. And then in the second verse of that beautiful song, she says, when I'm stuck in the day that's gray and lonely, I just stick up my chin and grin and sing, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. Is there a tomorrow? If we look at nature and we look at the whole problem of global warming and the seasons that are in turmoil, we wonder. I watched a program very recently, a National Geographic program about a team of scientists who tried to save the Arctic with plastic sheeting. It was amazing. But what was shocking was the enemy they fought. Paul writes in this letter to the Romans about nature that is in turmoil. In Romans 8, Paul has just been speaking about the glory of adoption into the family of God, and then he comes back to the troubled state of this present world. Well, for Paul, he is painting a picture. He was working with ideas that every Jew would recognize and understand. He talks of this present age and of the glory that will be disclosed in the age to come. Now, Jewish thought divided time into two sections. This present age, it's quite a bad age, subjected to sin and death and decay, and don't we know that? We see death and decay all around us. We see the results of what we call global warming, the heat, the drought in some places, the turmoil in the weather, and then this other sphere of this other time frame that Paul talks about in the sense of the Jewish understanding, the age to come, the day of the Lord, a new world. The renovation of the world was one of the great Jewish thoughts. In the Old Testament, we read about it in Isaiah 65, verse 17, the text that we also read today, and many other texts, talks about the creation of a new world, the vision of something new that's coming. The dream of the renovated world, the new tomorrow, was very dear to the Jews in Paul's time, even today. Paul knew that, and here he, as it were, endows a new creation with consciousness. He thinks of nature as longing for the day when sin's domination would be broken, death and decay would be gone, and God's glory would come. A new tomorrow. The world that is whose beauty is fading very fast and its loveliness decays. This dying world will be renovated, be new, the new tomorrow Annie sings about. But what is true of creation is also true of human beings. Paul did not think of a man as a disembodied spirit. Man in this world is a body and a spirit, and in the world of glory, the total man will also be saved. And this body, in his thought and his mind, will no longer be the victim of decay and the instrument of sin. This thinking of a new tomorrow is central to this text. You see, brothers and sisters, we do encounter the decay of not only nature, but of our own bodies. And the question people ask, the question that resounds all over us when we are in need, when we are in pain, is, will this stop? Is there something better? Is there hope somewhere, somehow? Maybe you have experienced standing or caring for someone who is dying, caring for someone whose body is totally absorbed by a terminal illness. And then the cry out of that heart, and maybe out of your heart, Lord, there must be something new. This cannot be the end of it all. There must be a tomorrow. Maybe in your own life you experience the decay. In your life you have problems. You have encountered some obstacles in your life that is just deafening. And you ask the question, Lord, is there a tomorrow? And Paul's message is strong. It says, yes, there's a tomorrow. Paul looks at the state of the earth. He saw man's sin and the state of the world, but he also saw God's redeeming power. And the end of all for him was hope. So Paul's life, to him, life was not a despairing waiting for the inevitable end in a world encompassed by sin and chaos. Life for him was an eager anticipation of that new morning. So in Romans 8 verse 19, he uses a wonderful word for eager expectation. Apokaradokia is the Greek word. You don't have to remember that. But it's a word that has a picture in it. It's a word for someone who scans the horizon with his head thrusted forward, eagerly searching in the distance for the first signs of dawn break, of glory. For those of you who have been to the army, you will know what I'm talking about. If you are on the watch in the late hours after midnight, and where I was in the army, and that was many, many, many years ago, I still remember in that last watch that my eyes scanned the horizon, because in the bush it's really dark. You scan the horizon for sunrise. It's eager. It's an expectation. So, for Paul, life was not this weary, defeated waiting. We get people, maybe you and I, at times, we are part of this group of people. We look at things happening around us and we say, all is in vain. We will all end up in some big calamity. No, not for Paul. Life was not a weary, defeated waiting. It was a throbbing, vivid expectation. And that, because of that, his philosophy is this: while waiting, be involved. The Christian is involved in the human situation. We're not sitting back and let the world go astray. The Christian is involved in this world, even though we have problems, even though there's decay, even though it's subjected to death and sin, we are involved. The Christian is not sitting on the sideline, watching and hoping just for heaven. He does not only see the world, he looks beyond the world to God. That's what the difference is. As a Christian, well, things are going wrong, but there's a tomorrow. We eagerly await that. He does not only see the consequences of man's sin, he sees the power of God and the power of God's mercy and love to change people, to change situations, to change you and me. The Christian is involved. The Christian is part of the solution. The Christian is part of the tomorrow. He looks beyond it to God. So the keynote of the Christian life is always hope, never despair. The Christian waits not for death, but for life. Karl Barth died on December 10, 1968, in his house in Basel. On the prior evening before he died, he had cheered up his lifelong friend in a phone call conversation by saying, "Just don't be so down in the mouth now. No, not ever. For things are ruled not just in Moscow or in Washington or Peking, but things are ruled even here on earth entirely from above, from heaven above." He was looking for hope. And he sings, "The sun will come out tomorrow. I bet you tomorrow there'll be a sun. When I'm stuck in the day that's gray and lonely, I just stick up my chin and grin and sing, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow." Amen.